Hi, I'm Alexandra Valint, and I'm a professor of English at USM. I have adopted a prohibitive generative artificial intelligence policy in all of my English literature courses at USM. In this brief video, I will explain my reasons for adopting this policy, describe how I explain that policy to my students, and share some thoughts on designing assignments with my policy in mind. I do understand that other faculty in the university might feel differently on this issue than I do and may have good reason to allow students to use AI in their courses. I have two main reasons for adopting a prohibitive AI policy. Reason one, English literature courses are, by their very nature, reading intensive and writing intensive. In short, we read a lot and then we write a lot about what we read. My main goal in an English literature course is to teach students to become stronger readers and stronger writers. And to accomplish that, students have to practice the skill of reading and practice the skill of writing again and again. AI can do the tasks that I ask students to do, sometimes well, sometimes not well. AI can summarize a lengthy article. AI can produce an essay on a specific text and topic, especially if that text is older and canonical. So, in the case of English literature classes, AI is not just a tool to help students. AI can be a replacement for the work of the course. And if students don't do the work themselves, then they don't practice the skills, then they won't learn, and they won't improve. I believe that the majority of learning happens through the process of reading and writing, a process that may be difficult, messy, unexpected, and even joyful. And AI can shortcut students right past that process and directly to the product. Reason two, I believe generative AI has deep ethical problems, which I will only briefly overview. The main issue is that AI chatbots like ChatGPT were very likely trained on the work of authors and artists without their consent or compensation. This is why so many authors and news organizations have sued OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT. Therefore, arguably and allegedly, generative AI programs have stole and plagiarized in order to function. I am also concerned about the problematic biases within AI training datasets and by extension in its outputs. I'm also concerned about the danger of AI-generated deepfakes and the troubling environmental costs of increasing AI usage. I try my best to communicate my prohibitive AI policy to my students. This starts on day one with reading and discussing the prohibitive AI policy in my syllabus, which is quite detailed. I also remind students of this policy throughout the semester, including on assignment sheets and ahead of assignment deadlines. To keep this video short, I am only going to read a part of my multi-paragraph AI policy. At the beginning of my policy, I acknowledge that other professors will have different AI policies, and I also emphasize that Grammarly includes AI. I advise students that they can use a spell checker and grammar checker, but if any software, like Grammarly, is rewriting their sentences or writing new sentences, they must stop because that's generative AI. Here is an excerpt from my syllabus that explains not only my policy, but also the rationale for the policy. That is, I'm making the why behind the policy transparent to students in hopes that knowing that why will further dissuade them from using AI in my classroom. You cannot use AI platforms functions at all for reading or writing in this course, including for summarizing texts, brainstorming ideas, or outlining, drafting, or editing any of your writing assignments. I want to read and respond to your ideas and your interpretations and your writing, not whatever AI can quickly generate. AI cannot think. It simply generates a guess of a response based on the material it has been trained on. Note that the creators of that training material likely did not consent for it to be used for AI and were not compensated for its use. The responses AI provides can be vague, ridiculously, or flagrantly erroneous or made up, called hallucinations or confabulations. AI does not give you the right answer, and often in literary analysis, there is no right answer, but multiple possible interpretations. This course is writing intensive, and one of the major goals of the course is to practice your writing skills. It is through repeatedly engaging with all the steps of the writing process that you improve your skills in writing, critical thinking, and creativity. You learn through the process of writing. Side note, I learned that some students did not consider early stages like brainstorming and outlining as part of the writing process, so I now make clear that I do consider them part of the writing process, and therefore AI cannot be used for them. And here is another excerpt from my course syllabus. I reserve the right to send any submitted work to AI detection software, although I will not solely use such software to make determinations about whether AI was used, as I know such detection software can be faulty in both directions, producing false negatives and false positives. If I suspect that you have used AI for an assignment, I will contact you so we can have a meeting and discuss your assignment. Side note, many students are terrified that they will be falsely accused of using AI. Some students have writing styles that are more likely to be flagged as AI, even when they didn't use AI. It's very important for faculty to know that AI detection software, like Turnitin's, is not perfect. And lastly, I will briefly discuss how my AI policy influences how I design assignments. First, I don't think there is any AI-proof writing assignment, except in-class writing done without technology. And while in-class writing can certainly be an option, there can be accessibility issues with it, and some larger projects cannot be completed within the limits of class time and of a classroom. But AI can do so much, though with variable levels of quality. It can generate an essay, a poem, a screenplay, a personal reflection. It can create a song, an image, a video. But at least for now, AI is still not competent at integrating accurate quotations and real sources into a paper. It can fabricate fake quotes and sources. And most of my assignments do require quotations and sources. I also scaffold larger assignments like a long research paper with shorter and smaller assignments. That could be a brainstorming document, a proposal, an annotated bibliography, an outline, a draft, etc. When a large project is broken up into smaller, doable steps, students may be less likely to turn to AI in a panic for trying to address the whole assignment all at once. Secondly, through those smaller scaffolded steps, you will become very familiar with the student's writing and voice, putting you in a better position to notice if that student's voice suddenly changes, which possibly points to an AI-generated submission. But ultimately, there is no way to ensure a student does not use AI in work done outside of class. But if we make the decision to prohibit AI in our classes, we can do our best to clearly communicate our policy, repeat our policy, and dissuade students from using it. Thank you for listening, and I hope this video was useful for thinking through your own AI policy, whatever that may be.